The college football experience, Hawaii Rainbow Warriors 2022 college football preview series on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, presented by WinBet. Bet $50 at WinBet, get $200 in free bets. Bet big, win bigger with WinBet. Download the WinBet app now or visit winbet.com. That's WYNNBet.com and start winning today. We're also brought to you by Sleeper. You already play fantasy on Sleeper, but now you can win cold, hard cash with their brand new over/under game. Just head to sleeper.com/SGP on your phone to join the SGPN group, and Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. That's sleeper.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by us. Yes, the SGPN app is live in the App Store and Google Play Store. It is free to download, and it is your home for all of our free picks and podcasts. And right now we just relaunched our merch store where you can get all of your favorite SGPN gear. So just go to store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com or grab the SGPN app today.
This is Mike Leach, head football coach at Mississippi State, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience, Hawaii Rainbow Warriors season preview. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dad, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
Nobody knows nothing.
Somebody knows. Double the price, but no one touches Dundee.
Oh, woo! You know I love island football. I love it. I cannot wait to see some Hawaii football as always. As our friend June Jones, who's been on the show before a few times, shout out to June Jones, great guy. I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh. Up. There's that jam. Oh yeah. Play that absolute heater.
It's not paradise for these road teams. I mean, this song is just great.
It is a long trip for any team to go out to the islands, but a worthwhile one.
So, I mean, there's so many things to do here. I mean,
it's easy to see a tide turn.
A tide turned because Todd Graham, who I thought, considering, well, Nick Rolovich left for Washington State. Shout out to Nick Rolovich, friend of the program. And Todd Graham took over and actually did better than what I expected.
Qualified for bowls in both seasons.
Yes, better than I expected. I thought he would take a little step back. He did better than I expected. But regardless, things weren't working out for old Todd Graham on the island because things didn't work out. I don't know. He wasn't well liked, including I think his own son transferred out as part of the movement.
Ouch.
Yeah. Anyway, they got him out of there. And they elected not to play the bowl game. I know it was tricky also with COVID. I know they didn't have fans for a lot of games last year at the Ching Complex Center.
Tough to get fans when your stadium is seats 10.
What's the? I think they're going to destroy the what was the stadium before the Alamo
Oahu Bowl or Aloha Bowl?
Aloha Bowl, yeah. Alamo. What am I talking about? I would. They should just renovate
or Aloha
that thing, right?
Stadium. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, it was. I mean, they played the Pro Bowl there forever. So
yeah,
and that was when June Jones had Hawaii beating Alabama and beating other teams consistently. 6
bowl appearances in 9 years for Jones as the head man.
I mean, one of the best things you could say is
3
I think
10-win seasons.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at if you look at, I think his first year there, the year prior, I think they were 1-12. 0-12 to what?
9-4.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it is.
And they were apparently they gave him, I'm not sure, but I hear they gave him like
shoestring budget.
Well, no, they interviewed him, but it was all because the fans wanted June Jones.
They wanted him back,
but the administration,
he's their best coach in history.
The administration didn't. So they gave him the runaround
at Hawaii.
Yes, they gave him the runaround though, and I don't know. It seemed pretty ridiculous, but at least they get his guy Timmy Chang, who not only got his first coaching experience at SMU with June Jones, he also played for June Jones, and I know
all kinds of records at Hawaii.
Yes, and my NC Nick has shout out to NC Nick. He has his jersey at Hawaii, but. They get their guy. I mean, if anyone's gonna know Island football, it is Timmy Chang, who's from there, born and raised, and really, was exciting as all can be to watch. These Hawaii teams were fantastic to watch.
All over the field.
Him with Rolovich, that era to me of those quarterbacks there, just a really hard team to beat on the island. Like they were legit. And it's a shame they didn't invest into football. I know that's why Jones went to SMU.
I mean, that should be a huge home field advantage. I want tiki torches.
Yeah.
I want like tribal chants going on. I want teams to go there and get shook on some Shaka Zulu shit.
They have so many great players there too. If you look at Alabama's team roster, obviously Tua, June Jones coach in high school as well.
Dude, the Pacific Islanders rate of pro to per capita is insane. Super talented.
Let's hope they get it together, and hopefully Timmy Chang, can. It is cool. It's a cool story.
Yeah.
Now I unfortunately I'm a Timmy Chang fan, but I don't know if they're set up to win. Like I said, June Jones had that problem of hey man, if you can just invest in a little bit, we can really go far with this.
I can do a lot with a little, but I just need a little, and they're nope.
Yeah, and that's why you bounce. Hopefully. With Timmy Chang, they can get it together. We'll all be rooting for Timmy Chang. Let's see though. Let's see what they do offensively.
He's not a Halle boy as much as June Jones. Was an Islander at heart. Still a Halle boy, and so you got to figure. You wonder if, from a recruiting standpoint, Timmy Chang can be that true Islander that galvanizes the state.
Well, I can tell you this: Timmy Chang, always a part of high-powered offenses. He was with Jay Norvell at Nevada. He was with June Jones at SMU. He was also had a stint at Jackson State. I like the hire in a way. I mean, considering they didn't get Jones, I thought they should have got Jones, but they were concerned, but Chang, I think, is probably their next best option
and
because
he's young and maybe there's long-term potential, and maybe he's the type of guy that won't leave because he is an Islander at heart.
Yeah. So he brings in offense coordinator Ian Shoemaker, Patty C.
From Eastern Washington.
Yeah, or Eastern Washington with Eric Barriere fire the laser all over the field on that red turf of theirs. Just 3 returning starters on offense. That's not gonna be fun. But last year they were the 63rd best scoring offense in America, 84th in rush offense, 36th in pass offense, 63rd overall in total offense. Now here's the thing. Even though you're only bringing back 3 returning starters, I actually think Timmy Chang is probably well seasoned on how an offense should work. I actually don't think that's the concern to me. I think the concern will be the other side of the ball. But first, let me break down the offense.
Where did Chevin Cordero went? Where
he transferred to San Jose State. Thought that was a huge get for San Jose State, and that hurts Hawaii because they're in the same division,
in division. Ouch.
And so Brayden Schager, who started last year 3 games from went 2-1 as a starter, he's back. But they also we'll get to the transfer portal in a bit, but they brought in Cammon Cooper from Washington State with Nick Rolovich. So I think obviously familiarity there, and I would expect Cooper to probably be the starter. But they're breaking in new running backs, new wideouts, all brand new. Only 1 returning offensive lineman, and that's right tackle Micah Vanderpool. It's just a lot to ask. I think the offense though will probably be ahead of schedule because that's Chang's MO. With offense, but defensively, the new DC is Jacob Yoro or Oro. I don't know how to pronounce that. But he's got a tall order as well because this defense last year, 100th in scoring defense, 71st in rush defense, 127th in pass defense, charting at the 113th overall defense.
So he's been there since 2017 in some way, shape, or form. Safety coach, linebacker coach, co-defensive coordinator, linebacker coach. So
I can tell you this: 71st in rush defense was somewhat impressive, especially at Hawaii. But breaking in a brand new defensive line, just one of three back in the linebacking core, and that's Panay. I'm probably butchering this. This is one of those ones that people enjoy.
This whole episode is going to be
Pavihi. So brand new D line, one linebacker back, one of five in the secondary back, cornerback Hugh Nelson. I need more of those names. Yeah. Joking, people, just for pronunciation terms.
Colby's really gonna when he sticks the landing like that, he's gonna let you know.
Hugh Nelson, that's I can relax.
Got it.
Okay. I mean, this defense is a huge question mark. I don't know that they'll be ready to go there yet, but what do you make overall? Before I know we're going to touch on transfer portal recruiting rankings.
I mean, how many
schedule.
returning off on each side of the ball?
So defensively 2, offensively 3.
Ooh, that is like the least in the whole
brutal,
country
man.
so far.
It's absolutely brutal.
That's a lot of work. I mean, but you know what? Hopefully he's got a super long leash. They brought in their guy, their kid, the Hawaii kid, Timmy Chang. Give the guy a little time. Understand the circumstances in which he is inheriting the team. Not great.
Yeah. And the Todd Graham situation was crazy because a ton of people transferred out. We'll get to that in a second with the transfer portal. We'll get to the recruiting rankings. We're going to go game by game on the schedule and see what Las Vegas expects out of the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors on the college football experience. But first, I got to get us paid, people. All right. The college football experience, Hawaii Rainbow Warrior edition. It's brought to you by WinBet. Bet $50 at WinBet. Get $200 in free bets. Bet big, win bigger with WinBet. Download the WinBet app now or visit winbet.com. That's WYNNBet.com and start winning today. We're also brought to you by Sleeper. You already play fantasy on Sleeper, but now you can win cold, hard cash with their over-under game. Just head to sleeper.com/SGP on your phone to join the SGPN group, and Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. That's sleeper.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by the SGPN merch store. Yes, we've relaunched the SGPN merch store. Tons of awesome gear from your favorite SGPN shows. So just go to store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Once again, that's store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com. You got to check it out. We got some great stuff over there. So check it out. The SGPN merch store. Once again, get that SGPN app. It's free in the App Store and Google Play Store as well. We're also brought to you by Dave. Yes, Dave. Look, we've all been in a situation at some point in our lives where we a little tight on cash. Maybe you took a trip to Hawaii all of a sudden, or you wanted to take a trip to Hawaii, promised the old wife, the girlfriend, I don't know. Right. Maybe you could, maybe you just needed a few extra bucks. You really, I mean, Hawaii, look, I love Hawaii, but it's expensive. You go and get your regular stuff that you would expect the same prices in the States. And I mean, I know Hawaii is a part of the States, but I'm saying it is more expensive there. So perhaps you get there and you said, man, I need some more money. I'm not going to make it through this trip.
Who are you going to call there?
Yeah.
Buddy?
You're going to call Dave. All right. Dave is the banking app that can help you get up to $500 instantly with extra cash. That's more money to fill your tank, buy a wedding gift, catch up on bills, or survive the vacation to Hawaii, perhaps. You could finally tackle those expenses that have been, stressing you out, perhaps in whatever situation, any hang up you have in life, essentially.
Which we all have.
Yes. There's no interest and there's no credit check needed. Hey, maybe I need to call them. I'm joking. Millions of people have already downloaded the Dave app to get their financial relief. So I'm telling you, download the Dave app from the App Store right now. That's DAVE. Sign up for the extra cash account to get up to $500 instantly. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking provided by Evolve, member FDIC. We're also brought to you by IP Vanish. Did you know that browsing online using incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy?
No.
That's right, Patty C. Without added security, you might as well be giving away that private data to hackers, your ISP, and other prying eyes. Wasn't Man,
Hawaii.
Snowden. He was in Hawaii, right?
Was he?
Let us know. He let us know that people were.
He pulled the old IP vanish.
He pulled the IP vanish, and he also let people know that hey, Big Brother's watching.
Yeah.
All right, Big
You
Brother
guys need
is
it.
watching.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Your incognito mode didn't do anything.
I think
against
he
him.
probably is the reason why IP vanish is a thing. Perhaps. That's why we use IP vanish at the SGPN studios. It makes it truly easy to stay private and secure on the internet. IP vanish helps you safely browse the internet by encrypting 100% of your data. That means your private details, your emails, your passwords, your communication, your browsing history, and more will be completely shielded from falling into the wrong hands. Even your physical location will be hidden. IP vanish makes you virtually invisible online. It's really that simple. So go to ipvanish.com/SGP and use the promo code SGP and claim 70% off your savings. That's ipvanish.com/SGP. All right, we are back talking Rainbow Warrior football. Man, remember Al Noga? Anyone out there remember Al Noga? That was my guy, man.
I remember the name.
He had a brother too. I think it's Nico Noga, if memory serves me correct.
Was Al Noga drafted?
Remember Paul Johnson? When
1988.
Paul Johnson, yeah,
Al Noga.
he's a former Washington Redskin, former Minnesota Viking.
There you go.
Remember when Paul Johnson used to be at Hawaii?
At Hawaii.
Dick Tomey, all those. I mean, they have a rich. Hey,
There
wait,
you go.
whoa. Let's have some fun. This is the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, baby. All right, it might be an interesting year this year. We'll see. But this is a rich program with rich culture behind it, Patty C. Jason Elam, remember the kicker for the Denver Broncos? He's a Rainbow Warrior. Al Noga, Nico Noga, Paul Johnson, Dick Tomey, June Jones, Nick Rolovich, Timmy Chang. I mean, you go on and on and on. Ashley Lallee.
Cole McDonald
Yes,
most recently.
Cole McDonald was a baller too, man. This is a program they've had some nice pieces here.
Shout
man.
out to Nate Ilawa from
Yes.
Northern Virginia.
Yes.
My senior year, DC Area Player of the Year, Washington Post.
That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, this is they've had a good amount of players over the years. You check it out, know your history. There are a lot of old games are out there. Look, I'm just saying, summer you get a little lonely. You don't want to watch baseball. Go watch back in the day.
Some classic Hawaii
What
football.
happened when Alabama came to the island, huh? What happened? All SEC. Hey, here's something about Hawaii football, man. You come play on the island, you can take a fucking L.
You're taking L's. Look, more teams should do it. You get that 13th game, added to your schedule, an extra quote data point just to come out and see beautiful Hawaii. Hawaii should be one of the most well-funded programs in the country because all these Power 5 teams should be making an annual trip out there for that 13th
But
game.
there's a reason why a lot don't.
They don't want that
BYU
smoke.
Went to the island, took an L. I mean, you go on and on and on. Colorado took an L a few years back. I mean, you can go on. I mean, I'm telling you, Arizona, Khalil Tate. No, don't bring Ken Niumatalolo to Arizona to be the head coach. I don't want to run the option. Meanwhile, you go on the island with Kevin Sumlin, take an L. All right.
That's right. Is this a sleeping giant, Colby? What's the upside of Hawaii?
They have, well, first off, it sells itself. It sells itself. If they would just invest in athletics, which I know they haven't put at the forefront, but yes, there's a ton. They're surrounded by a ton of talent. It's Hawaii. All right. Look, I'm sorry, but if you're telling a kid from Los Angeles, hey, we're gonna we're trying to recruit you to Lincoln, Nebraska, or Hawaii, common sense must play a factor, right?
Yeah. You're only going for a few years, especially the transfer portal now. It's be like, hey, come out to the island, live in paradise for a couple years. If you don't like it, transfer.
Yeah. I mean,
apparently that is part of their recruiting, I guess, philosophy moving forward. They want to do a mix of Hawaii and Polynesia in general with the mainland, both from a transfer portal and a recruiting standpoint.
Patty C, the last time Michigan State went to Hawaii, they took an L. Northwestern took an L. Cincinnati took an L. I mean, you don't want to play on the island. You were going to get beat. You got Fresno State. It happened to last year. All right. I'm telling you, you go to the island. I know that right now, maybe a transitional year for them, but I mean, they have had some big time seasons there, man. So, Arizona State took an L. Purdue took an L. You don't want to come there. I'm telling you, you don't want to come there, especially when they get things rolling. But I want you to come there because we love supporting mid-major football and especially the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors.
Well, speaking of which, any chance this team gets a Power 5 invite once with the Pac-12?
I wish, but once again, I think you have to put your money into athletics, and to me, to be marketable, you got to put some money in there. With NIL going on, you have the whole island.
I'm looking it up right now. Hawaii has the 6th highest in the nation per capita NFL rating.
If they just, and what they don't realize is football can be the vehicle to drive to more success. It's so classic. You see this thing all the time. People will kind of come at football or something, and they don't realize that this is your vehicle. This is a vehicle that can lead your university to millions and millions more dollars.
You have such a recruiting advantage. Yeah. Anyone who wants to come and take your talent has to go halfway across the ocean to get it. You should put a fence around Hawaii so easily, and with the amount of talent coming out of that place, you should be a contender every year. Invest and get that money back 100-fold.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
So let's talk transfer portal because this was a big factor in looking at this year's Hawaii Rainbow Warrior team. And shout out to the graphics department. By the way, if you're not watching this on YouTube, hop on over to YouTube, subscribe to the College Football Experience as we break down all 131 FBS teams.
Here, real quick,
what's that?
The teams above them, or the states above them, with a higher per capita players in the NFL ratio. Florida they had any national championships in the last 40 years?
Oh,
Miami, so. Florida State, Florida. Okay, yeah,
UCF.
UCF. There you go. Georgia. Oh yeah.
Georgia and Georgia Tech.
Yeah, reigning national champions. Okay, cool. South Carolina. Oh, they have Clemson. Okay, they've had a few. Yeah. Alabama.
I'd say Auburn and Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama, and then Louisiana.
Well, Tulane and LSU. Tulane was undefeated in '98.
LSU been to 4 national championships in the last 20 years.
Okay.
And then there's Hawaii, sitting all by themselves, not investing in football.
Let's do it. Step it up, and maybe they will. Maybe they did with the transfer portal because the incoming transfers. Patty C. Timmy Chang was busy. He was doing work.
There we go.
Quarterback Joey Yellen from Pitt. That's
Plus
a far
those
trip.
Sweet ass uniforms.
Yeah. Oh man, those new Island helmets too. Look, I love the retro. I want them to come back to the retro, but I do dig those. No, it's not even that one, but the one with the island, like the map on the helmet.
Very cool. They've been almost flawless in all their uniform attempts.
Joey Yellen comes in from Pitt at quarterback. I also alluded to this Cammon Cooper from Washington State, where he's very familiar with the run and shoot. Actually, with Nick Rolovich there. So I would imagine it would be a nice time for us to play this jam, considering Timmy Chang. How did I not think of this one before?
What you got for us? Oh yeah. Apparently this offensive coordinator runs a little bit of pistol, a little air raid, some no huddle.
I like it.
So we're gonna have an exciting offense in Hawaii, in Honolulu this year.
Yeah, and I mean, the transfer portal might. I think the offense will still be fun. They get running back Tylen Hines from Air Force in the transfer portal. I don't think he's going to start, but potentially a guy that gets in there. Christopher Jackson, a wide receiver from BYU. Tight end Jordan Murray from Missouri State with Bobby Petrino, aka Road Rash face. Then they got on the offensive tackle Luke Felix Fualalu.
Yes.
From Utah. It sounds good, right?
Yeah.
It sounds really good. They also got in on the defensive side of the ball. They went out and got Mateo Seoli from Arkansas. They got
it's only going to get worse from here.
Defensive end Jojo Feolu from Cal Poly. Shout out to Cal Poly, John Madden's alma mater.
There you go.
They used to run the triple option until a couple years ago. They switched. They bothered me. They got to go back. Linebacker
Kualana
Makulu.
Hey, Makula?
Like Mike Mamula. He's a transfer from USC. I mean, come on.
Junior Seau reborn, maybe.
How about this? Former 4-star from Nebraska transfers in Winden.
There you go.
Holy.
Hooley. Hooley.
Hoaluli. They also got they got 2 JoJos in this transfer portal. That's always a win.
There you go.
Shout out to JoJo the Clown from the Jerky Boys. JoJo Forrest coming in, cornerback, Oregon State. Also safety Verdell Edwards from Iowa State. They're bringing in some guys from some big time schools with some winning pedigree. Can they get it together, Patty C? But here's the problem. We ask ourselves on all these episodes, did they win the transfer portal? And unfortunately, as much as I like Timmy Chang, and I think, I think it's a tough first year considering he wasn't a part of all this. It was basically, what do they call that? A mutiny?
Yeah, essentially.
They're just like, hey, fuck you, Todd Graham. We're gone. All right.
We're quitting. We're not going to be able to play in the bowl game because we all quit.
They were transferring out like mid-season. Timmy Chang was still in Reno at Nevada with Jay Norvell. Chang went to Fort Collins with them. So it was a late hire. So in the portal, Otay Baker on the defensive line, he's in the portal right now. Wide receiver Dayton Toney went to Incarnate Word. Safety Solomon Turner is in the portal. They lost safety Corey Bethley to Arizona State. He's a penciled in starter in Tempe. They lost defensive lineman Justice Tavai to San Diego State. They got running back Hakili Hililiki in the transfer portal currently. Safety Michael Graham's in the transfer portal currently. Defensive lineman Zacchaeus McKinley went to Texas State. Defensive lineman Jonah Leulu went to Oklahoma. Linebacker Darius Masso went to UCLA. Nick Mardner, their star wide receiver, went to Cincinnati where he's a penciled in starter. Running back Tylen Hines. Oh no, I'm sorry. Hines came in. They lost Boone Abbott, a quarterback, to the Thunderbirds of Southern Utah. Kicker Adam Stack still in the portal. They lost Fresno State, a corner Cameron Lockridge to Fresno State. Chevin Cordero, their starting quarterback for the past 2 years, went to San Jose State. Wide receiver Kilohana Hassan Rittener. He's in the portal. Davion Hunter, their running back, Day Hunter. This guy was a fucking beast the past couple of years. He's at Liberty.
Damn, that's a far trip.
Safety Donovan Dalton's in the portal. Linebacker Keela Kamakaka Wawu. He's in the portal. I can't get these fucking names. Defensive end Gabriel Iniguez is in the portal. Wide receiver True Edwards is in the portal. Safety Sterling Ortiz is in the portal. You know like
knows
him.
all about that guy.
Holy shit! So I'm gonna go out and say losing Chevin Cordero and Day Hunter and Mardner. That they still couldn't win the portal. It was almost impossible. But Timmy Chang did his best he could.
When was he hired?
He was hired late, man, because it looked like it was going to hire June Jones. This was a late hire because I think didn't the state government get involved with firing Todd Graham? I feel like the government got local government got involved.
He was hired. Well, the news from January 24th says he was hired over the weekend. So that is late. I mean, the recruiting cycle. I mean, usually the first week of February is National Signing Day, right? Yeah, thereabouts. Yeah. So it's
so many players transferred.
Basically, 1 week to recruit your entire team.
I think Chang did a great job considering he's recently brought in some guys. So hopefully he can keep doing that. But Patty C, how are the recruiting rankings?
Oh, let's see. I mean, they've been decidedly average to really subpar for quite a while. Last 5 years, nationally, 96, 116, 119, 127, and 123. Within the conference, that's good for 7, 10, 12, 11, and 12. How many teams are in the Mountain West?
12, right?
12. So
yeah,
essentially dead last. Several. They're terrible in terms of recruiting. But that's something that could greatly improve with Timmy Chang. Let's hope. There's so much talent there.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. So Las Vegas, and if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see the sweet ass graphic. Once again, subscribe on YouTube or where any podcaster can be found because of the college football experience. We talk college football year round, and also remember subscribe to the college basketball experience. Hawaii had a good season last year, so check out that.
Let me tell you about the lack of talent recently that's been at Hawaii since 2012. So 2013 and on, they have only had 4 players drafted. Right in 2011 and 2009, they had 3 drafted those years.
Rolovich had like a 10-win season though, without much talent. It seems like then
that just goes to show you that system is pretty good. And obviously, Timmy Chang's gonna be running something similar, throwing that ball around. Then again, Ty Graham was throwing the ball around, but again, especially when it comes to a Halle boy, the people on the islands. If you're a used car salesman, they'll sniff it right out. And Ty Graham is a used car salesman. They have no tolerance for that shit on the islands.
That's what I'm saying.
Ran his ass out after 2 years.
All right.
Now bring in the.
He probably didn't like the shaved ice, or what do they call that? Shave ice? I don't know.
Fuck it.
Spam. He was probably talking shit about spam. And they said,
Right.
"Get the fuck out of here." Anyway, let's get to it. Las Vegas. Patty C. Like I said, the sweet graphic if you're watching on YouTube. Shout out to the SGPN graphics team.
Beautiful.
4.5 wins for Hawaii is the over under, Patty C.
That seems optimistic. But let's take a peek at the schedule.
Let's take a peek at it. Week 1,
Real
week
quick,
0. Actually.
Again,
Yeah.
last year, 6 and 7.
And by the way, if you listen to our locks episode last year, we did have Hawaii, me and NC Nick, and that cashed. It was 5.5, and the fact that you got to remember Hawaii plays 13 games. That thing cashed. We needed every win we could get, but it did cash for us as we had another very successful lock record. I think what did I say it was 44-18. I think it is off the top of my head. I can't. 71%. I know that we hit at 71%.
Yeah, 44-18. I think you're right. They only beat a 5-6 FCS Portland State team by 14. Two of their wins came against New Mexico and New Mexico State.
But we were penciling that in, man. It was a favorable schedule because of that.
Yeah, but they had some decent wins.
They beat Fresno State, man. That was a great win.
They beat Wyoming. They slapped Wyoming around on the last game of the season. So Ty Graham kind of went out on a high note, from an in-game standpoint. 2 straight wins to end the season. So maybe he got something figured out. But obviously, they're starting from scratch here this year.
Well, week 0, Patty C. Clark Lee. Sounds like Superman or something, right? He's coming all the way to the Ching Complex Center on Saturday, August 27th. Cannot wait to watch this game. This is kind of an interesting one because you look at Vanderbilt last year and they didn't really turn a corner, right? Clark Lee was in year 1 in Nashville last year. SEC, this team got their ass whooped by East Tennessee State. Lost by 20 at home to East Tennessee State. Now that was Clark Lee's first game, but still, not a great season. They beat UConn by 2. They beat UConn 30-28. They did beat Colorado State and Steve Adazio because Adazio finds ways to lose games. Those were their only wins all year. And if you look, they weren't really competitive. I mean, South Carolina, that's one game where they showed up. They almost beat South Carolina, lost 21-20. Besides that, I think this is anyone's game. This is a far fucking trip.
They got whooped a lot last year, Vanderbilt.
It is a far trip for them. I'm still taking Vanderbilt.
This is tough. My lean was Hawaii. In fact, when we went week by week for week 1, or is this week 0? This is week 0.
Yeah.
I think I did take Hawaii, but having talked to you guys more and seeing how rough of a start this is going to be, I guess I got to go Vandy here.
I mean, this is kind of a fit. If you're gonna take the over, they have to win this game, and I think they could. It's on the island. That's a fucking enormous trip.
Talk about. This will probably be the game I want to watch most.
Week 0.
Opening, week 0, especially with the SEC. Touting how great they are right now, and if Hawaii can score a win right out the gates, Timmy Chang gets the program on track right away.
Week 2. Western Kentucky, who played for the Conference USA Championship a season ago now. Bailey Zappi's gone. Zach Kitley, their OC, he's gone as well. But Jared Dogecoin comes in. Jared Dougie.
West Virginia.
West Virginia starting quarterback. I think Western Kentucky gets it done.
Yeah.
So I got them 0-2. Maybe you could talk me into that Vanderbilt game as a win. Week 3, they go to Ann Arbor, Michigan, a nice regional game scheduled here by the Wolverines. I want to say this was they had someone else and they canceled and then added this, I believe.
Yeah.
This is a loss, right?
Well, this is going to pay for a lot of Hawaii season, so sometimes you got to take these L's. But yes, this is.
All right, now is where it gets interesting, because if they were to beat Vanderbilt, you can make a case here that the next 2 games are very winnable, right?
Yeah.
The Duquesne Dukes come in, nice regional battles there from Pittsburgh, and Duquesne. Shout out to Duquesne because they opened the season week 0 at Florida State, so going all the way down to Tallahassee and then later going to Honolulu. Now Duquesne did beat an FBS last year in not Hawaii but Ohio, right? Duquesne was 7-3 last year. Beat the Ohio Bobcats 28-26 in Athens, Ohio. Petty C. I guess I'll go Hawaii, but I wouldn't. This is not a gimme.
What was Duquesne's record last year? You said
7-3, and they beat
Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ohio is generally about. Probably at least on Hawaii's level.
It's just such a far trip. I'm going to take Hawaii.
I am too.
So we got them 1-3. Now they go revenge spot for the Aggies of New Mexico State at Aggie Memorial Stadium in Las Cruces. Jerry Kill. I think Jerry Kill killed the transfer portal. I got New Mexico State winning in Las Cruces.
I'll tell you what. I think by now Hawaii has a second win. So I'm going to have them at 2-3 coming out of that week.
I'm not.
Okay.
I think New Mexico State's ahead of them. They get a bye, and then they're at the Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego State. Nobody walks into the Snapper and expects to get a dub. Petty C. I'm on the Aztecs.
They only lost 17-10 last year against San Diego State. Hawaii a little better than maybe we realized last year.
See how many players transferred out?
Yeah, I'm not saying they're going to be better than we realized this year.
I was on the over last year. It was one of my locks.
There you go.
That thing cashed. Thank you, Road Warriors. Are you taking them to win at the Snapper?
No one goes in the Snapper and wins.
Well, they go back to the Ching Complex Center, and this is a winnable game here. The Nevada Wolfpack come in.
You're just under the impression that this team is going to fall apart.
I'm taking Hawaii to win here. Upset special.
No, give me the Wolfpack. This is a team that has routinely been an 8+ win team for the last few years. They're not just going to fall off a cliff just because their coach. I got one
other upset happening. That's it.
Okay.
Then on Saturday, October 22nd, they head to Fort Collins. Timmy Chang going up against his former coach, Matt Mummy and Jay Norvell, Colorado State Rams in Fort Collins. Sorry.
They were able to beat them in Honolulu last year.
Well, that's Adazio. Adazio could not take. You could give Adazio the New England Patriots of what 2006 or whatever the hell 72 Dolphins, and they would lose the 91 Redskins, and they would lose these games. I have Colorado State winning big.
Yeah.
Then they host.
I don't know about big, but winning.
They host the Wyoming Cowboys. I think Wyoming gets revenge. I think they have a big day on the ground.
I'll give Hawaii a third win by this point.
Really? Okay. Then they're at Fresno State. I have that as a loss. Then they are home to Utah State. I have that as a loss.
Agree. Then
there's a big one here.
But they did beat Fresno last year, and that was what?
This is at Fresno, though.
Okay. Yeah, that's a loss. I think Utah State's a loss.
UNLV. This is your opportunity. But I think UNLV's recruiting is finally going to start to pay off.
Arroyo had turned that program around a little bit.
They were a covering machine late last year. I'm on the Rebels.
UNLV beat them at the end of last year in one of 2 wins for the Running Rebels. You know what? I'm taking Hawaii. Put them up to 4 wins for me.
Then they're at San Jose State. Chevin Cordero gets his revenge on his old school. Patty C.
They did lose. Wait, did they play San Jose State last year? They did. They lost 17-13 in Honolulu. They were close in a lot of these games with 5 total returning starters, a new coaching staff, a new system. and a completely demoralized offseason.
One player back on the line of scrimmage.
They're going to take a step back. I think the under's a pretty solid play here.
I look at this and I see 2 wins.
Is it Lockworthy?
It is. It is.
I'm not ready for that.
Else is ahead of them.
Only because they were
If they were playing a worse FCS, I would feel so much safer. But you can actually make a case they could lose every game.
New Mexico State. There is no New Mexico on the schedule this year.
Well, and they were hosting New Mexico State, and I think Jerry Kill. You want to talk about winning the transfer portal? You should pull up what he did there because he did a great job. I think they're going to be the least talented roster in every game except Duquesne.
I mean, this team qualified for a bowl last year, Colby. You're just going to say 2-10?
I'm sorry. I want to see it happen. All right. I'm on the under. Lock it up.
Don't lock it up for me.
Lock it up.
It's close. In fact, I wouldn't touch it. Timmy Chang might have some magic. There might be some Timmy Chang magic. So you watch yourself there.
All right.
Buddy.
Maybe I won't lock it up. We'll see in August. No.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a case for 5 wins. Okay. Vanderbilt, Duquesne, New Mexico State. That'd be 3. Nevada upset 4. UNLV 5. It's not happening though.
I would say that's I would say I'm going to take the under. I think they get to 4. I don't think they get to 5, but it wouldn't shock me.
2 or 3.
All right, there it is. Both on the under though.
Maybe 1 or 2.
Wow, the
All right.
hatred is real.
Hatred. I love Timmy Chang. All right, let's go. Let's go Rainbow Warriors. All right, subscribe to the College Football Experience, folks. We're breaking down all 131 teams in the land with a solo podcast for each one, like we do every year. Subscribe, tell a friend. Also, check us out YouTube. Like I said, give us a 5-star review on iTunes, and if you do that, take a screenshot of your or just an actual photo. You got a disposable camera? Fuck it, do it. You know, show it to me though on Twitter. We are at TCE on SGPN, and I am on Twitter at TheColBD. If you show us that, we will send you a College Football Experience T-shirt, even on the island. All right, let's do this damn thing. Let's go Rainbow Warriors. And Patty C's on Twitter at PattyC831. Give him a follow. NC Nick, who has the Timmy Chang jersey that's normally rocking with us. Well, he's on vacation, but give him a follow at NC_NICK. The Sports Gambling Podcast is on Twitter at the SGP Network. Give them a follow as well as they continue to break down the NFL. So you want to check out them, fantasy football stuff, win totals, going team by team in the NFL. Subscribe to them. I think you'll really dig it. Also, all of our other platforms, MLB Gambling Podcast, the College Basketball Experience. We host that. We also host the College Baseball Experience. Those things are all there for you. Other sports going on. Golf Gambling Podcast, MMA Gambling Podcast, Soccer Gambling Podcast, CFL Gambling Podcast. Shout out to the CFL, keeping football going year round, and the USFL Gambling Podcast, which we also host. So check out all those. Get the SGPN app. Check the merch store, and yeah, let's enjoy it. I'm rooting for the Rainbow Warriors. Hopefully, I'm wrong here.
Hey, I got some translation. I want to say, welly uku. I think I got that. And mahalo, all that good stuff.
Yes, mahalo. June Jones, every time he emails me, always mahalo.
There it is.
We're rooting for you. I love that program. I would love to see Hawaii come back up again. Rooting for you, Timmy Chang. All right, folks, this is the College Football Experience, Hawaii Rainbow Warrior style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.